Hey guys, thanks for stopping in today. I'm Heather and this is my channel, Fierce Fit Keto. It's my channel about my goal to lose 50 pounds in less than 12 months. This is going to be my part 2 about what is keto, and if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what keto is, just keep watching. Alright, thanks for sticking around. I really do appreciate you and being part of my journey. First and foremost, I'm not a medical professional. All the research that I've done about keto was my own research using some awesome authors and bloggers like Jason Whitrock and Thomas DeLauer and Jimmy Moore and a fellow Scani, Maria Emmerich. Thank you all for that. I suggest that you look up for yourself whether the ketogenic diet is best for you and see your doctor before starting any diet or exercise program. So, one of the reasons that I really just gravitate towards the ketogenic diet is that the science behind it makes so much sense to me. The fact that you only have two fuel sources, sugar and ketones, or fat, or the byproduct of burning fat, that it's a completely natural state, that your body gets fat by eating too many carbohydrates or issues like, or with hormonal issues like myself, which is oftentimes helped out by the ketogenic diet. So it just really makes sense to me. You know, the ketogenic diet's not for everybody, but you know, I'm going to be open and honest here. I've never really understood veganism. I tried for I wanted to become a vegetarian because when I was in college, I took an economics course where I heard something like, oh, it takes an acre of, you know, an acre of food, grain, a year to feed a cow. And I thought, wow, we could be feeding people with all of that. But the fact is, we're better served by allowing a cow to eat that grain and then feed it to ourselves because it's so much more energy. There is almost no nutritional value in anything that cow is eating other than carbohydrates. That's why it's fed to pigs. That's why it's fed to cows, to get them fat. So I've never understood, like, if you watch, and this is not a video about bashing vegans, it really is not, but it seems backwards to me that, you know, if you watch a vegan or a plant-based person eat, it'll be a huge mound of food, and then a dessert, and then a snack in 2 hours, and then another huge mound of grain and basically pig feed, and then a dessert in another hour, and then a midnight snack, and then a kombucha to help your gut biome, when really all you have to do is eat some meat. Those are the things that help you out. So the intention of this video today is to talk about, honestly, the benefits and sometimes the weirdness about a ketogenic diet from somebody who's been through it. And I've been through all of it. So I want to touch on my PCOS and the rationale that my doctor used during my diagnosis of PCOS and how a ketogenic diet was a prescription to help that. So I had over 50 cysts on my ovaries back in 2013. And I had been doing Atkins back, you know, for some time, getting fit before that. So it wasn't anything that was new to me at all. Keto was new to me. I was eating a lot more carbs than I should. I was drinking more than I should. I was eating a lot of like protein shakes and things like that and what have you. It was just different. It was fine for me. It worked. It was just different. So when I was diagnosed with PCOS, with cysts on my ovaries, the doctor explained it to me in terms that were very easy to understand. Many types of cysts and cancers and tumors feed on sugar, which, if you think about it, if you've ever had to have a test to detect cysts or tumors, they feed you sugar water, and then they give you I don't know if it's a CAT scan or MRI, but they give you a test, and that sugar lights up the kidney, the tumor or the cysts or what have you. And that's exactly what, well, not exactly what happened with me specifically, because I had an ultrasound to, discover mine, but that's how they find cancer. That's how they find it. There's actually, if you've ever seen The Magic Pill, it's available on Netflix, about the part that just bowls me over is the woman that actually cured her cancer by a ketogenic diet. By starving cancers, tumors, and cysts of their fuel source, you will, in effect, starve it out. That to me, it's just, I give so much praise to the human body and to just what a miracle our human operation is. That I'm just so proud to be a human that, gave us cancer, but also gave us a natural way to possibly cure that. Now, my PCOS wasn't cured. I still have cysts on my ovaries. It's not to say that every type of cancer or every type of tumor will be saved or helped by it, but there's a lot of evidence out there that, issues that are caused by inflammation, like fibromyalgia, heart disease, liver diseases, skin disorders, can be cured, if not just therapeutically assisted in becoming better by cutting out sugar. And if you watched my first episode about this, about how our bodies were not made to eat sugar in the volume, the vast quantities that we eat now, it's no wonder that, diabetes and heart disease and liver and cancer and all of that is up. And blaming it on meat is the very last thing you should do. The fact is all of these diseases started in or after the late 1980s, when the U.S. government put those dietary guidelines in place. It was a fraud. And if you've ever done any research about Ansel Keys in the 1950s, completely making all of his research completely fraudulent, which is how that research was used in passing those dietary guidelines, because the people in office at that point, politicians, mind you, advocates for the sugar industry, mind you, said, well, we got to do something. But it was absolutely against any smart scientist that was involved at all. It was against everything that all the real smart people were saying, and they were relying on fraudulent information from back in the 1950s. It's ridiculous. We did this to ourselves. As a people, we did this, by just shutting our eyes to the fact that, why would we so drastically change the way we eat from the way we used to eat? The way we used to eat kept us, tall and muscular and with good teeth and good bones. When archaeologists dig up the bones of our ancestors, they're not finding bones and genetic diseases the way they do now. They don't find caries and cavities and teeth the way they do now. That's the exact reason. It's that, agriculture, grain, grasses being made into foods that humans eat when humans were not made to eat that stuff. And if I seem fired up, I really am. This actually really fires me up because, this was not our fault. And then if you get fat, you're told to eat less and exercise more. Man, come on. That is not the case. Back in 2013, when I gained, 35 pounds in less than 6 months because of PCOS, that was not my fault. And people that become addicted to sugar are told to eat less and exercise more when, I was training to be a fitness model at that time. I was told by my doctor to eat less and exercise more. Luckily, I got a different doctor. But folks, that's not how the human body works. I also addressed in the previous about, calorie consumption. You can't count your calories. It's almost impossible. You can set yourself a guideline and, try to stay within it, but you can't measure every ounce of everything that you put in your body and expect that to be right. It's just not. And our bodies go through so many different functions and what have you. And just the advice that we're being given is it's ultimately to blame the person, but yet sell some products, sell some diet food, sell some, the things that just get me are like the little mini packs of cookies, less than 100 calories. Are you kidding me? It's garbage. Don't eat that stuff. I mean, depending on the ingredients, like Quest bars are really pretty good. They've got good, clean ingredients in it. But for the most part, that's not keto. Don't eat garbage food. Eat, if it didn't have a pulse or if it didn't have a root in one step or less, don't eat it. There's, fats that you need, like coconut oil. Obviously, those types of things are processed. Butter's processed, but minimally processed. Just we were sold products. We were sold a lie that made us fat because of the sugar industry, because of Coca-Cola and Pepsi and, RC and rice and Betty Crocker. We were sold into obesity. And understanding that and letting that get into your head and get into your heart, that's why I'm fired up about this, folks. I'm sorry if this is hard to watch. It's hard for me to even listen to myself. I'm so upset by all of this. And then being blamed. Somebody on Instagram posted an ad where it said something like 1999 and there was a Calvin Klein fitness model on the top. And then right below it, it said 2019. And it was a heavyweight woman wearing Calvin Klein underpants and a sports bra. And somebody posted on there that maybe Calvin Klein should rethink what we're talking about when it comes to obesity, because we should not be supporting this. We should not be, talking about obesity and putting obese people in pictures. And I think, folks, that's hogwash. I can't even believe that we are blaming, certainly, I'm sure there's obese people that don't care, but having been, and I'm really technically still obese, blaming me for this it's not right. It's not fair, and it's not true. I have an honest to goodness sugar addiction. I have to break it, and I'm doing it right now using a ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting. I certainly wasn't going to cure myself with Nutrisystem or Slim Fast or any of that. I was only going to make it worse. So getting control over myself and eating the way that my body should be, that's the way you should be working through it. So let's talk about some positives. I'm done being negative. One of my huge mantras right now is positive only. The benefits of the ketogenic diet: you sleep better, or you sleep less. Not because you can't sleep, but because you don't have to sleep. The circadian rhythm is unique for each and every one of us. We are unique flowers. Some people, especially on a ketogenic diet, need 6 hours or less of sleep. So if you feel like you can't sleep, don't force yourself. Forcing yourself to sleep only stresses you out. So if you are if you're feeling like you're super energetic, use the time to exhaust yourself out. Say hi to Rowan. Hi, baby girl. I see you. Don't stress yourself out about it. Do some yoga. Fall asleep when you're tired. Your skin will clear up. I have a little bit of makeup on, not a lot. I try to show who I am for who I am, but my skin has just, it's beyond compare. I do tend to have some rosacea. I have rosacea on my chest that immediately starts to go away. My nails grow out longer and stronger. That's because I try to add collagen protein to my bulletproof shake. So I'm trying to get some nail and collagen in there. I am so much less bloated. So one of the big symptoms and things that that are a trouble for me personally is that I work in an office for a living. I actually work from home, but it's an office setting. So I type all day and I type a lot. And so I've been really afraid that I'm getting arthritis because I would wake up in the morning and my hands would hurt. But then also my feet would hurt too. And, you know, I would be stretching out my feet and like, oh, my feet are puffy, you know, and my legs are puffy and my knees hurt and crack and squeak when I walk down the steps. So when I started my keto journey earlier in September, I didn't start intermittent fasting right away, but I did start fasting after that. And once I started fasting and I lost like 3 pounds overnight because I just flushed fluid out, all of that went away. No more do I have any puffiness in my feet. I just don't feel bloated anymore. I still am relatively jiggly, but not because of water any longer, which is just amazing. Keto also increases your ghrelin levels. Ghrelin is the hormone that controls your hunger. So true hunger feels like a deep emptiness, and the way I describe it is I get like it's a hollow, empty feeling, and it's a discomfort, hunger pangs, that growling sound. It's almost a physical feeling, growling. That is a biological response to a drop in sugar and should never be trusted. And so hunger completely goes away. So that first day after I started intermittent fasting, that hunger pangs, that growl, grrr, you completely stop getting that. You'll find that your hunger response is a lot better. When you start to get that deep kind of internal, almost a queasy feeling, that's hunger. And that's, you know, you probably are starting to run out of energy. But when you get deep into ketosis the way I am right now, let's see, I'm about 24 hours into a fast right now, and to tell you the truth, I haven't thought about food all day. I make sure to put a little salt in my, I drink a big jug of matcha tea all day. I sip on it, I put some salt in it. You don't get any of that anymore. So hunger quickly abates. So I definitely wanted to tell you the difference. One is annoying, one is biologically necessary, and they both dissipate. Once your body starts, you know, you can describe it as, what are you having for dinner? I'm having ketones. When your body starts burning its fat for fuel, you don't get hungry anymore because you don't need to eat. And that's just wonderful. Let's see, so weight loss, the first 15 pounds, dependent on your, you know, your specific needs. But yeah, generally speaking, the first 15 pounds is water, inflammation being lost, your bloat, your puffiness, your colon, stuff that you've been backed up on. Sorry for the TMI, but it's just the truth. You start to get rid of all of that. So, but now I'm about 19.5 pounds down now at this point, about 3 weeks in, just shy of 4 weeks in, and I can tell I'm burning fat for fuel. I can feel it. My mood gets elevated. I was so proud to see when I started my cycle last week that I had one bad day of really moodiness and cramps, and the next day it was gone. And usually that's 3 or 4 days for me. And then also, as I've been getting older, my cycles have been shortening from 28 to 29 days down to about 26. I've been for like the last year. I'm back up to 28 again. So my cycles are normalizing. Your mood just becomes more positive. And if you start using tools like I talked about in my Law of Attraction video, where you just start to, if you can just start to be more positive about what you're eating and why you're doing it and all of those things, you're just going to start feeling better. I also noticed that I don't stink as much now, but in the beginning, I stunk all the time, where you're like, because ketones, especially acetone, I talked about it in the first video, can come out in your sweat. It can make you stink. It can make you feel greasy. And that's a normal thing, and it passes. But now that I'm through all of that and into ketosis, I don't have to use deodorant. I don't sweat. I forget to take showers. I mean, the pandemic has kind of made it so I kind of forget to take showers anyway, just because I can't leave the house. Like, what am I going to clean up for? But that kind of stuff is different. Oh, I was born anemic. So I've learned to love eggs over time. I've always had to eat eggs because of the iron content. I don't supplement iron, but I can always tell if I've been getting low on iron because I get hangnails. I haven't had a hangnail in like a month at all, and it's usually a very normal thing for me to have open hangnails because of my cuticles being weak. And now that I'm in ketosis and my body is using all of these good minerals that I'm ingesting, all of that has gone away. So let's really talk about, I started talking about some of the disadvantages to keto. I don't want to talk about cheating because I do not cheat. I'm saying that out loud because I used to cheat. When you are on keto, it is all or nothing, folks, because let's just say you say, oh, it's my birthday. I'm going to go out and I'm going to have cake and ice cream, and then I'll just pick right back up tomorrow. Don't feed that beast, folks. Don't feed that beast, because the second that you have actual sugar and you cheat, you're going to immediately kick yourself out of ketosis. You're going to undo everything that you've done. Now, you can't, if you've lost 10 pounds of fat, you're not going to gain 10 pounds of fat back, but you might start retaining some water, and the next day, the sugar cravings will come back with a vengeance. And that second or third time, it's really hard to say no. It's really hard to say, I'm just not going to do that. It's from somebody with experience the way that I have. It is so much better. It's so much easier just to not ever do it. Don't do it. So it's a commitment. Like, you have to make a serious, like, life-altering, it's like getting a tattoo. You can't go back. You cannot, you know, especially if you've got a lot of weight to lose like myself, you will derail yourself. You know, some people, it's easier for them. I'm not one of those people. And I have just learned from experience that it's easier to pass on the event or pass on the meal than it is ever to start over, because that's what you're doing. See, that time frame when we talked about in the last video, where you have to, in order, use up your sugar fuel sources. So if you consume, you know, let's just call it 200 grams of carbohydrate, that 200 grams of carbohydrate doesn't just disappear into la-la land, folks. It does not. It goes away. It sits in your blood, and if it's not used in a certain amount of time, it goes to your liver and it goes into your fat cells. And once it's in your fat cells, it has to be burned off through ketosis or extreme, you know, strenuous exercise, what have you, like that. You can't expect that, oh, I'm just going to be fine the next day. You're going to kick yourself out of ketosis. Then it's going to take another 4 or 5 days to burn off the sugar you ate. Then you're going to go through another 3 weeks of the keto flu, and you're going to go through XYZ. So, I mean, just don't do it. Drinking. Your body has exactly 2 fuel sources: ketones and sugar. So some of those are both. If you're going to drink alcohol, stick to clear alcohols and like 1 or 2 single shot, because alcohol is very similar to acetone. So it's going to burn in very similar ways. So a cocktail, especially, so let's say my cocktail of choice happens to be something like vodka and tonic water, or vodka and like diet 7-Up or something like that. No carbs, but alcohol. It could, depending on how much you drink, stall your weight loss. Speaking to like vodka or tequila or something in a very small quantity. Now something like wine, wine has actual sugar in it. Real, like I think a glass of 3 or 4 ounces of red wine has about 3 grams of carbs in it. So if you have 6 of those, in addition to the alcohol, so for me, 1 glass of wine, we're not talking wine, you have to be reasonable, folks. So a small glass of wine, 1 is fine, 2 is okay, 3 will kick me out of ketosis. I will have to go through the whole thing again. So I have to be really careful about that. So what I'll do is like on a Thursday night or a Friday night, I'll pop a bottle of red, like a dry red wine, and I'll have a glass, I'll put the tap back on it. Next night, I'll have a glass. And then the following night, like on a Sunday night, I'll use the rest of the wine in my Instant Pot for a roast. And that's honest to goodness how I'll do it. And you have to keep up with that. Other disadvantages. A lot of people get, and oh, TMI alert, I'm so sorry, but I have to talk about poop. When you eat a lot of vegetables and there's a lot of bulk and a lot of fiber, you poop. You're getting rid of waste. It's waste. When you eat keto, you stop pooping a lot. And sometimes when you poop, it's hard to poop. Constipation's a thing on keto. That's why water and minerals is really important. Specifically, make sure you get enough salt. Put salt in your coffee or your tea or your bulletproof coffee or what have you. Salt things. Salting will help you keep your water in. It doesn't really affect your weight too much, but if you're peeing all the time, it's going to make it hard to poop. So you don't want to drink too much, but you want to keep your system going, and you need water to do that. So make sure that you're drinking your water. Take the supplements I take are magnesium, potassium, I take a CoQ10, and I take some fish oil. So I do, and then I put salt in my water. So, I mean, just especially when I'm fasting, boost that up. But you can expect that you won't poop nearly as much. And it's weird for some people, and some people think that that's a bad thing. But if you think of waste as waste, that's what it is. It's sending away in undigestible things. And if you're not eating a lot of undigestible things, if you're eating a lot of meat and things that are easily digestible, like green leafy vegetables, green leafies break down into practically nothing in your belly. So do nuts. I mean, you're gonna poop out just that. So that whole 1 snake a day, maybe 2. Not when you're keto. If you're low carb, maybe some more, or if you're maintaining. So right now I'm in fat loss mode. I never plan on quitting keto, even once I'm at my goal weight. But I will start to add some more green leafy vegetables and more cabbage and maybe a sweet potato here and there, and then I can expect that I'll be number 2 a little bit more. But don't expect to poop a lot. It's kind of weird. I kind of mentioned the changes in the way you smell. I also got, like, my urine was like super dark when I started keto. And that really doesn't change. I do find that I flush a lot of toxins that way, and that's a good thing. But yeah, later in the day, so I go from dark yellow in the morning to pretty much clear by the end of the day, and my pee smells weird. Just different, I guess. Not much pooping, a lot of peeing. And I don't know too if maybe a keto doesn't help my my sinuses be less inflamed, and maybe my sense of smell is just better right now. But I do smell things a little bit differently. Um, uh, yeah. So those are just some of the pros and cons to what a ketogenic diet, can be. Um, Comment below. I'd like to hear what you think. I like to kind of be mindful of the changes taking place in my body. So if you have any interesting stuff that goes on when you get into ketosis, let me know. So yeah, thank you so much for joining in. Like I said, I try not to be negative, but I do definitely want to share myself authentically with you. So I appreciate you staying today. So like, subscribe, enjoy, comment. Anything that you do will help my channel be found, and I appreciate that. Without further ado, I'm Heather. This is Fierce Fit Keto, and thanks for joining me tonight. Have a great day. Bye. Take 45, and let's go.